Good evening, friends. Welcome to the PANSIGHT webinar. I assume I'm audible. The slide is visible. Today's topic, inspiring stories. Last time I told you, PANSIGHT is the brand name of my webinars. The mission of PANSIGHT is to enlighten and empower you with knowledge and skills to bring success and happiness. Unless we empower ourselves with the knowledge and skills, we won't be able to enjoy life. Many challenges and problems we face in life, we need knowledge and skills. If you agree, put A in the chat box. If you agree, put A in the chat box. Knowledge and skills. And these two are not, thank you, Royji, these two are not tangible assets. You cannot see the knowledge which is inside a person. You won't be able to know what kind of skill that person has. You'll be able to see his tangible assets, his house, his car, a woman, the jewelry, sari, that is visible. Knowledge and skills are invisible. And they are the absolute requirement. Thank you, Kunalji. My webinars are always based on FEQ, facts, experience, quotes. First, let us look at the definition of the word inspire. To make someone feel that they want to do something and can do it. They must feel or they must want, yeah, I want to do this one and I can do it. And giving someone positive or creative feelings. And what is a story? A description of events that actually happened or that are invented. Actually happened means a real life story. Invented, fictional, imaginary. For example, Sherlock Holmes, that is a story. Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character. Inspiring, making you feel confident about yourself. Because when you read the inspiring stories, the take-home message, what you learn from those stories, that will make you feel confident and competent. Motivating you to learn to or do something. Are these definitions clear? If they are clear, put C in the chat box. Okay, the subsequent slides, everything, you'll be able to appreciate only if you, yes, thank you, Royji, only if you understand the definition. Many people, they don't talk about the definition. Santosh, thank you. And unless the definition is clear, there's no point in reading a story. Inspirational stories, this is my own quote, are powerful vaccines because I'm a medical doctor. So I'm using the word vaccine. Are powerful vaccines that could protect you from stress. Now, stress can trigger, I'm going to read it slowly, depression, anxiety, worries, anger, pessimism, insomnia, apathy. Apathy means a loss of interest in doing anything. Totally, yeah. Total demotivation. That is apathy. Fear. And can trigger suicide. Are you convinced? If you are convinced about my quote, put C in the chat box. Thank you, Anthony ji. Thank you, Kripaji. So one should not take it lightly. A vaccine, again, you know, a child, when a child is born, and what happens? Soon, within few months, we give polio vaccine. Polio vaccine within few months. What's the purpose? This polio vaccine, there are two forms. One is a live vaccine, and another is a killed vaccine, killed virus. And that one trigger the generation of antibodies. Baby's system, health, body, it generates antibodies targeted at this vaccine, virus. Just like now, Operation Sindoor, targeted at the terror hubs. Targeting. The same way, the antibodies, the moment they see a terrorist just like that, the moment it sees that polio virus getting inside, it will go and attack. And it protects the person from getting polio. When I was a house surgeon, I'm talking about 50 years ago, in the SAT hospital, every week we used to see at least 7 to 10 new polio cases. 7 to 10. Now, 0 for many years. The house surgeons, they don't know what a poliomyelitis case looks like. So the vaccine protects the same way. Reading inspirational stories, that will give you all the skills, knowledge, thinking skills to deal with stress. We're talking about stress. Meditation, my dear friends. Yoga, my dear friends. They are good for physical health and a little bit of concentration, ability to concentrate. But yoga and meditation are not going to protect you from the onslaught of stress. Is this clear? I repeat, yoga and meditation, they are marketing as if, yeah, stress management, yoga, meditation. Without the knowledge and the skills, yoga and meditation cannot do anything. If you have the knowledge and skills, then yoga and meditation will be good. That is what Modi, he does yoga every day. Every day, yoga. Because he has the knowledge and skills to manage stress. Do you know the personalities? If you don't know, put N. If you don't know the names of these 3 celebrities, put N. I don't see any. So that means you all know the names of those celebrities. I'm going to show the names of those celebrities. Shobha, she committed suicide when she was 17 years old. Before that, she won the Best Actress Award. Sushant Singh Rajput committed suicide when he was 34. Very successful actor. Silk Smitha, she committed suicide when she was 36. Why? Life is full of ups and downs. You get success, and sometimes you may crash. It is something like a peak and Wiley effect. And most of these people, they don't know how to cope with the stress. VG Siddharth, Cafe Coffee Day founder. This gentleman, he featured on many magazines, entrepreneur of the year. He committed suicide by jumping into a river. Did you know that? He committed suicide just when he was around 60 years old. Who is this personality? If you don't know, put N in the chat box. Okay, I'm not surprised. I would have been surprised if you identified the personality. Virginia Woolf, British writer. Again, very famous writer, plenty of books. Even now, millions of copies are sold. She committed suicide. Who is this gentleman? If you don't know, put N in the chat box. Because I want to make sure that you are getting some new information, new knowledge. Who is this gentleman? If you don't know, put N in the chat box. N, Santoshi, Musamiliji, N. Don't feel bad. My humble request is, don't feel bad if you say, no, I don't know. Ignorance is not a sin. Ignorance is not a sin, I repeat. But staying ignorant, that is a sin. That gentleman, Ernest Hemingway, American novelist and a Nobel Prize winner, he also committed suicide. MGR to Jayalalitha, why Tamilians commit suicide on leader's death? After the death of MGR, nearly 30 people committed suicide. About the stories. There are three kinds of stories. This is what I have identified. Real life stories, fictional stories, and historical stories. Idihasa. Idihasa. When people say mythology, Ram is a myth. That is what an opposition leader says. Ram is a myth. Will you dare to say that Jesus Christ is a myth? Because there is a debate whether Jesus Christ was a real person or it is a mythological character. Will you dare to say Allah is a myth? No. No. Historical and mythological different. These are ancient Puranas, oral tradition, word of mouth, more than 5,000 years old. Itihasa. And the British, they conveniently, to discredit, they use the word Hindu mythology. My dear friends, understand. The West, they wanted to discredit our belief system. So Hindu mythology. Is it crystal clear? If it is crystal clear, put CC in the chat box. I've explained. That is all this calling Hindu mythology, that is bullshit. Itihasa. Ancient characters. Okay, thank you, Rajiji. Okay, Kripaji. And 6 sources of inspiration: autobiographies, biographies, Itihasa, that is Ramayana, Mahabharata, then Gita, quotations, proverbs, and newspaper. Yeah, only thing is, if you are very observant, a newspaper report, any incident, yes, that can serve as an inspiration. I get a lot of inspiration from the newspapers. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Who said? Johann. It is not Johann. The correct pronunciation is Johann Wolfgang von. It is not von. Von Goethe. German polymath. What happens? Many people, they know, but they don't apply the knowledge. They're not willing to do. In my case, I faced a lot of stress. Don't think that my life was walking on a bed of roses, very comfortable. No. Many challenges, many problems in my personal life, professional life. Easy to feel depressed, anxious, lose sleep, all those mental health problems. I didn't. That happened because I empowered myself with many inspiring stories, reading autobiographies, reading biographies, then Gita, and many stories. So the secret behind my happiness, success, these stories. Victory belongs to the most persevering. This quotation again has played a big role in my ability to manage stress. Recently I gave a talk. Don't give in, don't give up. That persevering is don't give up. Winston Churchill's quote, never, never, never give up. For your information, I'm repeating because every time some new people join this session, and online also, YouTube also, when I upload, many new viewers. For your information, this is not a truth. Fact is stranger than fiction. When I went to England, when I was tried for jobs, nearly 200 rejections in 2 years. I repeat, 200 rejections, in spite of the fact I passed all the exams in the first attempt. 200 rejections. What about in USA? Nearly 700 rejections. I'm not kidding. 700 rejections. I was able to pursue. You are reading the stories of Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Alva Edison, the failures for inventing that bulb. All those stories, they help me to stay calm, pursue. Have you understood? If you understood, put you in the chat box. I'm sharing my own real life experience. This I alone can share. Nobody else can share. Okay, thank you, Royji. Nobody else can. Why this Gandhiji, he wrote autobiography? Because he can share whatever happened in his life. Nobody else can. The same way I'm sharing what happened in my life. The idea is to motivate you. Idea is to inspire you. Inspire you means the viewers, YouTube viewers. If there are many youngsters, yes, all the more good. Jayalalitha. When she died, they found that in her library there were more than 7,000 books. 7,000 books. Her formal education, 10th grade. Subjects, autobiography, biography, history, philosophy, management, different subjects. She wanted to become a lawyer. And she was a very bright student. But circumstances changed and she became an actress. When she was the chief minister, many legal battles, she used to review and correct the petitions drafted by the lawyers. She had immense self-confidence and she lost her father when she was just 2 years old. She lost her mother when she was 23 years old. She became an orphan. Highly stressful, challenging world. Actor. Then she became the politician. Her mentor MGR, he died when she was 48 and 39 years old. No MGR, nobody else. And she became the party chief. There also initially party split into two. ADMK Janagi faction and Jayalalitha faction. Janagi faction soon died. Jayalalitha was the party chief. She became the chief minister also 3 or 4 times. She died in 2016. For nearly 30 years, she was the chief and nobody else dared to even challenge her from within the party. Agree? Do you agree? If you agree, put A in the chat box. Nobody inside the party dared to challenge her. She was a woman. Thank you, Srimanaji. So in a male-dominant society, Tamil Nadu is a male-dominant society, she was able to successfully. Do you know her favorite book? If you don't know the favorite book, put N in the chat box. One of her favorite books. She recommended that book to the pulmonologist who treated her at Apollo Hospital, and Dr. Narasimhan. Okay, Santoshi, thank you. So I'm glad that I'm sharing some new information. So I'm sharing whole thing in the form of a story. See, I'm a storyteller. This is the style of my approach is I'm a storyteller. She recommended that book. She ensured she got him a copy of that book. That book is, you'll be surprised. You will be surprised. I was surprised. The private life of Chairman Mao. Are you surprised? If you are surprised, put S in the chat box. Are you surprised? That is her favorite book. Yes, Veneralji, Krivalji. I am not surprised subsequently. Because Mao was a dictator. He was able to control the whole party. And from him, she must have learned the lessons in how to control the party. She also must have been a dictator inside the party. That book was written by his physician, a doctor who treated him, who was Mao's physician for nearly 20 years. So he knew Mao very closely. So Jane was smart. She learned the tricks and tactics and how to keep all these annachis under control. That is what? Reading, stories, autobiography, empowered. When she was an actress, she always used to take books to the studio. In between shots, she used to sit in a corner and read these books. That reading. I have great admiration for Jayalalitha. She became corrupt. I forget about that corruption part. But her confidence, courage, competence, that is something remarkable. Remarkable. Steve Jobs. This book he used to recommend, and he read more than 20 times, the autobiography of Yogi, Paramahamsa Yogananda. And it was his desire at his funeral. This book should be given, copy of this book should be given to all the guests. So at his funeral, this book was distributed to all guests. Did you know that? If you didn't know, put N in the chat box. N in the chat box. So I'm sharing new information. Thank you, Venugopal. So people do read. So my dear friends, in Kerala, the main problem is illiteracy. This is not a new word. Illiteracy is a word. I didn't invent this word. Illiteracy, you don't know how to read and write. Literacy, you know how to read and write. Illiteracy, you know how to read, but you don't read. That is what is happening. And what is the difference between a person who is illiterate and illiterate? No difference. The other person is ignorant because he doesn't know how to read. This person is ignorant because he doesn't read. Most of the people, they simply watch some useless TV charcha, debate. That's all. They don't read. They don't empower. If at all they read, it is a social media, WhatsApp messages. That is all what they read. And there are also fake news. They don't even bother to check whether it is a fake or real. They forward. Today also I got a fake message forwarded by a doctor. Then I responded him from the website, that site, fact check, that this is a fake news. Laziness. Read. Steve Jobs, the roller coaster ride from his. There are numerous books on Steve Jobs, biographical. Numerous. I have read some of them. The challenges he faced. And you know that he was an adopted child. His parents, they abandoned him. His own biological parents, they abandoned him. He was adopted. He was not born with a silver spoon. And he was a college dropout. No computer science degree qualifications. Self-empowered, self-education. Steve Jobs. He is a hero. Narendra Modi biography. Abdul Kalam biography. My dear friends, recently there was a podcast, Narendra Modi podcast. It was more than 3 hours long. I watched the whole, that one, 3 hour long, that podcast. His journey, the life experience, what he learned from the school of life, the books. Do you know that Narendra Modi is a very good reader? Do you know that he has authored few books? He has written some books also. And his favorite books, he read Bhagavad Gita, Tirukkural, Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. Then Insider, Narasimha Rao. Biography of Vajpayee. Narasimha Rao is a different Congress party, but he learned many lessons from Narasimha Rao. That is how you learn. You must be open-minded. You can learn many things from the success or failure of others. That is how that is first time. After Nehru's success, at that time, how many opposition parties were there? 4 or 5, that's all. Here, how many? Some 28 parties, India Alliance. This gentleman fought. Third time again, became the chief minister, prime minister. No, that's not a joke. So, reading, knowledge, communication skill, and he knows how to communicate. Recently, at the Vinyam, that inauguration also, he knew that is how to make a comment. Okay, now there is Shashi Tharoor, Pinarayi, the two pillars of the India Alliance. They are here on the stage. The India Alliance people, they will become sleepless. They will lose their sleep. He knew how to communicate. And our Hindi teacher, a college faculty retired man, he translated. He said, India Alliance, he said, Indian Airlines. Everything will be taken care of. Modi will fix the Indian Airlines. He didn't talk about the pillars. So that is what a Malayali, many Malayalis, and Malayalam also language. Many people, they don't know how to use the right word. Bhayankara Vishappu. And Bhayankara Pavam. Bhayankara, the word meaning. Bhayankara Pavam. Bhayankara Vishappu. Vallatta Vishappu. Verum Pavam. Vocabulary, വളരെ degenerate ഒറ്റ വേർഡാണ്. ഭയങ്കരമാണ് എല്ലാത്തിനും. Am I right? If I am right, put R in the chat box. If I am right, R in the chat box. I critically observe the. Okay. എനിക്ക് വളരെ ഇഷ്ടമാണ്. അതിന് പകരം ഭയങ്കര ഇഷ്ടമാണ്. എല്ലാത്തിനും ഒരു ഭയങ്കര. Okay, thank you, Roji. Okay, Lada Manoharji, thank you. APJ Abdul Kalam, not born with a silver spoon. I have read his book on Wings of Fire. Highly inspiring. How his journey. If you haven't read, make your children or grandchildren read. If you really want to help your youngsters, your family members, make them read these books. The story of my experience with the truth. That one I read some 28 or 40 years back. 40 years back. That one helped me. Inspiration I got from that one. Before 1980, Dr. Shaji Prabhar is here. He will corroborate, he will testify. We are in the medical school. We are almost like contemporaries. He was 1 year junior to me. Not even once I made a public speech. Am I right, Shaji ji, if you raise your hand? Yes, not even once. I didn't have the confidence, courage. And once I had to propose a vote of thanks. I lost the sleep on the previous day. Previous day I couldn't sleep because tomorrow I had to propose a vote of thanks. And I made it very brief, just 4 or 5 sentences. That also I whispered. I was barely audible. I ran away. Then I had to take classes for the students. When I became a faculty, now it is like I'm becoming a public speaker, a teacher. You need a lot of confidence. that time, the autobiography of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Do you know that what happened when he came to practice in Bombay as a young lawyer? If you don't know, put N in the chat box. I'm going to share an interesting story. Put N in the chat box. Okay, Krivaji, you don't know. Okay. Okay, Roy Chiranji, no. Okay. No. From London, he came down to practice. He accepted fee from a client. It was a small casus court, and he was asked to, he had to cross-examine plaintiff's witness. He was representing a defendant. And when he got up, his mind went blank. And the whole courtroom was spinning. He sat down. He didn't argue. And subsequently, he gave the money back to that client and asked him to hire on Patel, another lawyer. Severe stage fright, anxiety. The very same Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi subsequently became a orator, national leader. That one story inspired me. If he can do it, I can do it. Okay, that is this one. This is not a courtroom. It's a classroom. Why should I be afraid? Prepare. Talk. Is this story interesting? Put I in the chat box. So Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, yes, thank you, Arjun. Thank you. That is he played a role. That would actually help me overcome that phobia. Yeah. Thank you. Long walk to freedom, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was put on solitary confinement for 27 years. He was able to send or receive a letter once in 6 months. He was allowed to have a visitor once in a year. Solitary confinement, how painful it would be. He didn't break down. He came out not as a completely damaged person. Same way here also, as part of retaliation against me, my supervisor and the management, they removed me from direct patient care from the hospital, and they sent me a different building. That's not a hospital. Where there are the coding, some clerical people, they were working there, some 30 or 40 clerical people in each small cubicle. I was also asked to sit in one of the cubicles. I was given a gag order. I should not talk to any patients. I should not talk to my co-workers, doctors, nurses, and they review the lab results and respond by the email. For 8 months, morning 8 to 4:30, that is just like the solitary confinement. Do you think that it will be miserable for you? 8 months, not able to talk to anybody, go to work. If it is miserable, put M in the chat box. Will it be miserable? Your life? Yes, Dadaji. Very miserable. And they expected me to resign and run away. Because if the life is miserable, no. Oh, it is just like a solitary confinement. Did I run away? No. Because I had read this Nelson Mandela, the biography. And I thought, oh, if Nelson Mandela could do that one, I can also do it. At least he was 24 hours, he was in solitary confinement. I'm only 8.5 hours. Then I can meet my friends. After that, I can talk to others. This is much better. So that Nelson Mandela's biography, I read, that one empowered me. That one was the inspiration. Then Helen Keller, I'm not going to the depth of that one, with a handicap, blind, deaf, She learned 4 languages. Her own autobiography. On Hindi movie Black, Amitabh Bachchan, Rani Mukherjee. That one is based on Helen Keller's life. Rani Mukherjee played the role of Helen Keller. If you haven't seen that movie, worth watching. So whenever I used to feel sometimes a bit dejected, I think Helen Keller. By God's grace, I don't have those disabilities. I should not grumble. I should move on. Hitler. Again, inspiration for me. I learned certain things from Hitler. That is, Hitler used to rehearse in front of a mirror before giving a speech. All these gestures, expressions. I also initially, when I used to take classes, on the previous day, I used to rehearse in front of mirror. Okay, in my home. In front of mirror, what kind of gestures I should show. That's why I'm feeling very comfortable. How often do you see a speaker like me showing gestures, expressions? Do you see? If you don't see, put N in the chat box. N in the chat box. How often? Webinar people, they sit still. They'll talk about inspiration stories, and that's when you know. But I use the body language. Hitler. Are you convinced now? Hitler. That is his own autobiography. Mein Kampf. That Mein Kampf means my struggle. Hitler was born in 1889, the very same year when Nehru was born. And this was published before 1925. So the young man, he was in the prison for a brief period. Now in 2016, the bestseller, Mein Kampf. How many years now? Hitler died in 1945. After 70 years, bestseller. That means it is motivating many people. Take home message. For me, that one. He was a failed artist. He couldn't get admission to the Vienna School of Arts. He was a great artist, painter. Then he learned many things from the school of life. My dear friends, make your children read the biography of Thomas Alva Edison. That will help them deal with the failures in life, rejections in life. Very, very useful if you want to see that your children don't suffer from depression. Then don't become alcoholic. Alva Edison, that book. Self-educated man. His formal schooling was only a few months. Read that one. Make your children read. Chicken Soup for the Soul. This book was authored by this gentleman, Jack Canfield. That also was a very motivation for me. 144 publishers rejected. 144 publishers rejected that book. Did he give up? Usually after 10 rejections, many people, they give up. 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 144 is published, became a bestseller. So many editions. Perseverance, Napoleon Bonaparte. Real life story of perseverance. So such things, that is whenever I face the rejection. In UK, I told you 200 rejections. In America, 700 rejections, 900 rejections. I may be the only physician, to the best of my knowledge, who faces so many rejections. I didn't give up. Such stories, they're real life story. They motivate me. They keep me inspired. Panchatantra stories, then inspiring short stories. At bedtime, tell stories to your kids. These days, the kids, they don't hear any bedtime story. They watch Superman, Batman. They're not going to help them. I used to tell bedtime story to my son till the age of 13. I used to talk about all these Aesop stories, the tortoise and the hare that race, Panchandra stories, Akbar Birbal stories, 10 to 15 minutes every night. Upcoming talk next Thursday, inspiring quotes. Did you like this talk, inspiring stories? Is it something more than what you expected? Is it something more than what you expected? Okay, Arjunan, if it is more than what you expected, say put M in the chat box. More than, more. Yes, thank you. Adukkum mele. You expect with something, adukkum mele. So I thought, okay, why not I give a talk on inspiring quotes, quotations. I have a personal collection of more than 50,000 quotations. I'm not exaggerating. Thanks a million. Thank you, Sanal Kumarji. 50,000 quotations collected over a period of more than 45 years. It started as a hobby in 1980. Then now I am addicted to. It has become an addiction. Addicted to reading and collecting quotations. Those quotations, yes, saved my life. Inspiring quotes after that, how to kill stupidity virus. Same Zoom link, same passcode. Okay. Now, we have 8 minutes, 8 more minutes to 9 p.m. If you want to ask a question, please ask a question now. Or you want me to explain something, ask me now. After 9 o'clock, we will continue with the discussion. The recording will stop at 9 o'clock. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Don't feel inhibited. There are no silly questions. There are no silly questions. Okay, Shaji, you want to ask? Yeah, go ahead.
Bruno, I am of the opinion that whether
No, question.
About...
No, I'm not here to listen to your opinion. You can share your opinion during discussion. Now, if you have any question, ask me a question. Opinion after the
Who was your grandmother aspirate?
I don't get it. I don't understand.
People come out brilliantly with grandmother culture.
No, I don't understand.
Grandmother culture.
Tanda vibe.
Any പിടിയിട്ടില്ല എന്താണ് ശ്രീകുമാർജി
ഇപ്പൊ തന്ത വൈബ് എന്ന് പറയും ഇതുപോലെയുള്ള പഴയ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ.
Okay, now let us not deviate from this one. I don't want to convert this into an intellectual debate. Intellectual debate, we can do it later. But this one is mainly, I have shared the stories which helped me. Gandhiji, Hitler, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita. I listened to the discourse, Gita discourse by Swami Chinmayananda in 1984, 7-day discourse. And subsequently also numerous other discourses. So I learned a lot from the books and a lot from, I told you, newspapers. Recently I told you that is from Narendra Modi, that podcast, a 3-hour-long podcast. I'm always curious to find out what is the secret? What is the secret behind a person's success? And Narendra Modi was not born with a silver spoon. Chai wala, they used to make fun of him. Chai wala. Who, that IFS officer? Manishankar Iyer. And he said, okay, he is not going to win. We can give a tea stall inside the parliament. And Manishankar Iyer didn't win. Modi won. Modi became the prime minister. So that is the arrogance of some people with some qualifications. Many things which people thought impossible, he made it possible. The same way, like Article 370, it was impossible to revoke. As he made it possible. Ayodhya temple, impossible, 500 years. Possible. Narasimha Rao, see, I am not a BJP bhakt. Narasimha Rao, a practical leader. 1991, when he became the prime minister, our bank, Venugopal Nayarji and others know that is, our foreign exchange reserve was virtually zero. We put all our gold, everything in the London bank. Kadam, we are in deep debt. Wisdom, smart man. He opened liberalization, foreign investment, IT sector, all these jobs from America and other countries, they came to India. Infosys, Wipro, Tata, billions and billions of dollars. One man, Narasimha Rao. Am I right, Manojji? Am I right? Yes. That is what, the right person. The same way, Rajiv Gandhi, again I'm repeating. Before Rajiv Gandhi became prime minister, after Rajiv Gandhi became prime minister, change. Rajiv Gandhi was the first prime minister person with that we missed the industrial revolution, we cannot afford to miss the computer revolution. Aggressively promoted computerization. And in Kerala, as usual, we are always against anything. Anything growth, we are against anything. Yandravalkarnatinedire. So kaya industry in Alleppey completely gone. Yandravalkarnatinedire. Computer valkarnatinedire. In front of the Canara Bank in Trivandrum, yeah, for many months. And RBI also, many months they protested. And PSC office also. Computer valkarnatinedire. Do you know who inaugurated that samaram? The former Vice Chancellor of Kerala University, Dr. Iqbal, neurosurgeon. And now, Iqbal, if he goes to his restroom also, he carries an iPad with him. He carries iPad with him. And that guy, hypocrisy. Democracy in Kerala, forget about it. Computer valkarnatinedire, udaravalkarnatinedire, ellathinum edire, what are you for? Rajiv Gandhi, a visionary, our economy, foundation. Narasimha Rao worked on that one. Modi, further. Anybody wants to ask a question? We have 1 more minute before I stop the recording. But we will continue the discussion. Okay. Thank you all for your active participation. And please
ഇത്രയൊക്കെ എതിരായിട്ടും 99 സീറ്റ് കിട്ടി ജയിക്കുന്നല്ലോ.
അതാണ് അതിന് നമ്മുടെ ഡിസ്കഷൻ ടൈമിൽ ഞാൻ പറയാം എന്താണ് അതിന്റെ സീക്രട്ട്. I don't want to get that one recorded. Okay. Thank you all for your active participation. And I'm going to stop the recording.